This prophet might be one of the most iconic from among the prophets in the Quran. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this new series where we'll be walking through the story of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam in the Arabic language, explaining it word for word and just unpacking tons of Arabic language gems for you guys. So I just want to make sure that you guys are all aware that this is a very, very well-known book. It's actually a book written for children to learn the Arabic language, but it's so useful for us adult beginners too. I will leave a link to the PDF version available in the description section below, and I'll also leave a link to the Amazon page where you can buy the physical book as well. You can get a really nice hardback version of it, which is really nice too to follow along with. In the past, quite a long time ago, we did a whole walkthrough of the story of Prophet Hud alayhi salam, and there's been a lot of demand for another story of one of the prophets. So here we are with the story of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. So what we'll do, we'll make sure this is accessible for you guys who are listening on the podcast as well. I'll do an entire reading of the passage that we're starting with today, inshallah, and then we'll walk through all of the Arabic, and then I'll read it again at the end, and you guys can see how much of it you understand after the lesson. This lesson has 30 new words, inshallah. I'll put the passage up on the screen for those of you guys on YouTube, and we'll get into it, inshallah. So this is what it says. The title is أحسن القصص رؤيا عجيبة. كان يوسف ولدا صغيرا وكان له 11 أخا وكان يوسف غلاما جميلا وكان يوسف غلاما ذكيا وكان أبوه يعقوب يحبه أكثر من جميع إخوته. ذات ليلة رأى يوسف رؤيا عجيبة، رأى 11 كوكبا ورأى الشمس والقمر كل يسجد له. So let's go through this one word at a time. We'll start with the very top. We'll start with the title. So, Ahsan al-Qasas. Ahsan means the best. Hasan means good. It's also a name, as you guys probably know. Hasan. But Ahsan means the best. Qasas is the plural of qissa, which is a story. So the best of stories. And this title isn't arbitrary. It comes actually from Surah Yusuf, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ بِمَا أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ. Where Allah says that we narrate to you the best of stories. نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. So we actually narrate to you the best of stories. And this expression, the best of stories, is associated with Surah Yusuf. And part of that is because this Surah Yusuf is actually the only surah in the entire Quran which is a whole narrative, like start to finish. So let's move on. So the first chapter is named Ru'ya Ajiba. A ru'ya is a vision. Okay. Often we talk about the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam having a dream, but there's another term for a dream. A hulm is actually a dream in Arabic, as in when you're asleep. But a ru'ya is just a vision. It could be when you're awake. It could be any time, from the verb ra'a, just meaning to see. Good. Ajiba, it means, let's say, wondrous. We don't really say wondrous in English, but the word ajib, it kind of overlaps with meanings like strange, bizarre, wondrous, amazing, all of those things. And for the story of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, I like the word wondrous for that. So a wondrous vision. كان يوسف ولدا صغيرا. For those of you who are learning Kana and her sisters, this is a little bit of grammar in Arabic about a number of verbs, 10 or so, that have this kind of structure, and we have some beautiful examples of it here. So firstly, Kana really just means was. Yusuf was a boy, a saghir. He was a waladan saghiran. He was a small boy. Good, so the reason why I bring your attention to the word kana is because this is what kana does. It puts this part of the sentence that comes after Yusuf into having fathas. Okay? So we have kana Yusufu waladan saghiran. These are what you call the khabar of kana. Good, okay, so Yusuf was a small boy. وَكَانَ لَهُ أَحَدَ عَشَرَ أَخًا. Lahu, the word li, the preposition, we learn it to mean to or for somebody. But in the Arabic language, they don't actually use a verb to mean to have, right? Like in English, we use a verb. We say I have, you have, we conjugate it just like a verb. But in Arabic, you say li to say that somebody has something. So li waladan, I have 2 boys. Okay, for example, or li, whatever, I have something, I mean I have something. But in this case it's lahu, hu meaning him. So he has, but with kana before it, it puts in the past tense. So he had how many? Ahada ashara. What is ahad? Ahad is 1 and ashara is 10. So ahada ashara is the number 11. He had 11 what? Akhan. He had 11 brothers. An akh is a brother, but it's akhan because we put 2 fathas on the end of the numbers above 10. Just like this. So numbers 11 to 99, we do that. If it was 11 brothers, it'd be 11 akhan. If it was 27 brothers, it'd be 27 akhan. That's how it's done. وَكَانَ يُوسُفُ غُلَامًا جَمِيلًا. And Yusuf was a ghulam jamil. He was a ghulam, is like a young lad. Jamil is beautiful. Typically in English, we don't use the word beautiful for men, right? And in Arabic is actually the same. Typically, you'll use other words like for handsome, like wasim, for example. But there are some cases where there are some men who can pass for being beautiful men. And if any of them can, it's the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. وَكَانَ يُوسُفُ غُلَامًا ذَكِيًّا. He is also a ذَكِي غُلام. He is an intelligent boy. ذَكِي is intelligent. وَكَانَ أَبُوهُ يَعْقُوبُ. And his father, Abuhu. Ab is the father, Abuhu is his father. So his father was what? Yuhibbuhu. Okay, yuhibbu, let's pick that apart a little bit. So, yuhibbu is from the verb ahabba, it's a form 4 verb. Ahabba, present tense, yuhibbu. It means to love somebody. So, ahabba, he loved, yuhibbu, he loves. I love uhibbu, for example. But there's a hu on the end of yuhibbuhu. So the hu again is he, right? We've seen this a number of times in this passage actually. We saw it with lahu, abuhu. This hu means he or him. So he loves him, yuhibbuhu, but because there was kana at the beginning of the sentence, it puts in the past tense. Okay, his father Ya'qub loved him. What akthara? So do you remember when we took the word hasan and made it ahsan to go from good to the best? Okay, here we have kathir meaning a lot, and then akthar meaning more or the most. Okay, akthara, he loved him. Akthara, he loved him more. Min jami'i ikhwatih, he loved him more than. Whenever you have one of these patterns, be it ahsan or akbar or akthar, and you have min afterwards, it means it's some muqarana, there's some comparison going on. It is more than this. You could say هذا أحسن من ذلك, this is better than that. أو هذا أكثر من ذلك, this is more than that. Good, okay, so he loved him more than جميع, the rest, or let's say all of, إخوته. إخوة, with a ta marbuta on the end, is a plural of أخ. Okay, so the rest or all of his brothers. Okay, he loved Yusuf more than all of his brothers. ذات ليلة. ذات kind of just means one. One night, ذات ليلة. A layla is a night. I know this word layla is used in the Quran as well without the ta marbuta on the end. For example, in Surah Al-Layl, wal-layli. But they really mean the same thing. For all of our purposes, there's probably some nuance which we could go through in a more detailed video, but they both mean a night. But in this case, we have the feminine one with the ta marbuta. Not to be confused with the name Layla. If you know a girl called Layla, that Layla is written with an alif maqsura on the end. But that night, رأى يوسف, Yusuf saw رؤيا عجيبة. He saw a رؤيا عجيبة. He saw, just like the title, he saw a wondrous vision. رأى, he saw. أحد عشر كوكبا. We saw this number already. أحد عشر. What number is أحد عشر? It is 11. كوكبا. A kawkab is a planet. I know in the story of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, we translate it as stars. We say he saw 11 stars. But a kawkab, really when we use it these days, a kawkab is a planet. You can talk about al-kawakib fi al-nizam al-shamsi, the kawakib, the planets fi al-nizam al-shamsi, in the solar system. Yes, my son Yunus is really into planets, so we've had that on the TV sometimes. Good, but so the singular is kawkab, the plural is kawakib, but in this case we use the singular with the fathas on the end. Just like we had ahada ashara akhan, we have ahada ashara kawkaban. And what else did he see? He saw ash-shamsa wal-qamara. He saw the sun and the moon. Okay, the sun and the moon. Kullun, all of them. Kull and jami' are very similar in their meaning. They mean all. Yasjudu lahu. So yasjudu is the present tense of sajada. Sajada, present tense, yasjudu. All of them, yasjudu lahu, prostrating to him. Okay, so that is the entire passage. If my calculations are correct, I believe it's 30 new words. Every single week when we're doing new paragraphs from this passage, inshallah, I will let you know how many are new words and how many words there are total, because some people will be joining for the first time. So if you've been following along with the series, every single one of the episodes, I'll tell you how many new words there are, and we'll go through it just like this, inshallah. So let me read through this once again to see how much of it you understand. So I'm going to go from the top. أحسن القصص. رؤيا عجيبة. كان يوسف ولدا صغيرا وكان له 11 أخا وكان يوسف غلاما جميلا وكان يوسف غلاما ذكيا وكان أبوه يعقوب يحبه أكثر من جميع إخوته. ذات ليلة رأى يوسف رؤيا عجيبة. رأى 11 كوكبا ورأى الشمس والقمر كل يسجد له. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube how much of it you understood after the entire lesson. And I also have a really big question of the day. All of you guys listening on the podcast and all of you here on YouTube, question of the day. How could I improve this series for you? Do you find it useful that I read the entire passage at the beginning, at the end? Do you think I give sufficient explanation for each of the things? Would you like me to go into more detail in a particular part of language? Would you like the passages to be longer? Would you like them to be shorter? Anything like that, please let me know in the comment section below. Or if you're watching on the podcast as well, if you're on Spotify, I'll try to put like a poll underneath the episode if you're listening over there, inshallah. But if not, feel free to reach out with me. I'm Arabic with Sam on most platforms, including Instagram and Facebook, or you can email me, arabicwithsam@gmail.com. So that's everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, and I really hope you did, please don't forget to like and share it with somebody who you think wants to learn the Arabic language or you know needs to learn the Arabic language. And also hit that notification bell as well, because that really helps with the channel and make sure that you guys are still in the loop with everything that's going on the channel. So see you guys next week for our next episode of this walkthrough of the story of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.